Good morning, dear students. Today we're going to learn Oral Hygiene Index. Now, this index is developed by Green and Vermillion in 1960. That is John C. Green and Jack R. Vermillion. This Oral Hygiene Index has two components. One is Debris Index and second one is Calculus Index. This index is simple and sensitive to assess the oral hygiene status of an individual or even a group of people. Now, oral hygiene index is a combination of, as I said, debris and calculus index. Now, each of these debris and calculus index is in turn based on 12 numerical determinations representing the amount of debris or calculus found on the buccal and lingual surfaces of each of the three segments in each dental arch. Now, you got to learn about something called a segment. Now, let us see what is this segment. Now, the segment, each dental arch is divided into three segments. How is that done? The first segment is from distal to the right cuspid, that is distal to the canine, and that goes till the second or third molar. The segment distal to the left cuspid, that is right side and the left side, and the segment mesial to the right and left first bicuspids, that is between first premolars of both the sides. So that becomes first premolar to third molar, canine to canine, first premolar to third molar on the opposite side. So that makes it three segments in each dental arch. So we have to measure from each segment the amount of debris and calculus that is present in these segments among the teeth. The maxillary and mandibular arches are each composed of three segments, as I have explained now. Now each segment is examined for debris or calculus. From each segment, one tooth is used for calculating the individual index for that particular segment. That means we are going to take one tooth only from that segment, and that tooth should have the greatest area covered by either debris or calculus. Now the method for scoring calculus is the same as debris even for calculus. That means both are same. Both debris and calculus will be measured in the same manner. Only thing is, in the calculus we are going to have subgingival also. Now that we will see as we go on. Now the separate recording for both the oral debris and calculus in each segment is done. In each segment, two surfaces will be recorded, that is facial or labial, lingual or palatal surfaces. Let us see the rules that should be followed while recording this oral hygiene index. Only the fully erupted permanent tooth are scored. Now what is fully erupted? That means the tooth should reach the occlusal level or incisal surface of the anterior teeth should be at the occlusal plane. Now third molars are not included in the oral hygiene index. The scoring for buccal or labial and lingual surfaces is based on the tooth in the designated segment that has the greatest surface of debris for the debris index and supragingival and subgingival calculus for the calculus index. Therefore, the buccal score and the lingual score for a segment need not be taken from the same tooth. So, basically what we are going to do, we are going to examine all the teeth in that each segment, and we are going to consider that tooth which has got the highest coverage with debris and calculus, and on the facial surface whichever is having the highest, and on the lingual surface whichever is going to have the highest. It is not necessary that it should be the same tooth, because we are going to consider only the tooth which has got the highest coverage. So it need not be the same tooth. Now let us see the procedure. The surface area covered by debris is estimated by running the side of the explorer number 23, that is Shepherd's hook, along the buccal surface and lingual surfaces and noting the occlusal or incisal extent of the debris as it is removed from the tooth surface. When you pass it on the tooth surface, we can identify how much debris is covered and how much tooth surface is covered by the debris present on the tooth surface. This can be best learned when you are in the clinical postings during the patient examination and recording of the index on the patient. Now coming to the calculus index. Number 5 explorer is used for estimating the amount of supragingival and subgingival calculus that is present on the tooth surface. The oral hygiene examination and scoring of debris index always should precede the oral examination and scoring of calculus index, because first debris index is recorded and followed by the calculus index. In all, there are total of 12 scores and the maximum number of 6 segments to be examined. So 3 upper and 3 lower segments. According to the developers, they assessed it's going to take 4 minutes per person usually to record this oral hygiene index. Now criteria for this debris index. How do you give that criteria? 0 is no debris or stain present. 1 is soft debris covering not more than 1/3 of the tooth surface or presence of extrinsic stains without other debris regardless of surface area covered. 2. Soft debris covering more than 1/3 but not more than 2/3 of the exposed tooth surface. 3. Soft debris covering more than 2/3 of the exposed tooth surface. This is the criteria when you record the debris index in patients, which should be taken into consideration while giving the scores. Now criteria for calculus index. Now 0 is no calculus present, whereas 1 is supragingival calculus covering not more than 1/3 of the exposed tooth surface. In score 2, supragingival calculus covering more than 1/3 but not more than 2/3 of the exposed tooth surface, or the presence of individual flecks of subgingival calculus around the cervical portion of the tooth or both. If you see the picture, in the 2 I have given you the dots of the green, that is subgingival flecks of the calculus present subgingivally. 3 is supragingival calculus covering more than 2/3 of the exposed tooth surface or a continuous band. If you see here, I have given you on the above the 3 there is a continuous band. That is the continuous band of subgingival calculus around the cervical portion of the tooth or even both. So calculation example. Now after the scores for debris and calculus are recorded, the index values are calculated. For each individual, the debris scores are totaled and divided by the number of segments scored. The same method is followed for even calculus index also. So I have given you an example here. If you see upper and lower buccal on the right side, anterior left. So we have totally 6 segments. If you see here, right upper anterior, left upper. Now if you see the same thing, lower right, lower anterior, lower left. So we have totally 6 segments. Now the debris index is equal to total number of upper and lower buccal scores plus the total upper and lower lingual scores. So we are going to check all the teeth and we are going to consider the tooth which is having the highest debris coverage. So debris index is equal to 12 plus 9 by 6, that is 3.5 in this example. Let us see the calculus index. Here it's similarly calculus index is equal to the total of the upper and lower buccal scores plus the total of upper and lower lingual scores. In this example it is 2 plus 5, that is by 6 is equal to 1.16. Now the average individual or a group debris and calculus scores are combined to obtain oral hygiene index as shown below. If you see here, OHI is equal to DI plus CI, that is 3.5 plus 1.16, that becomes 4.66. So DI values will range from 0 to 6 and OHI value will range from 0 to 12. So OHI can be calculated for the groups by dividing the sum of indices determined for the individuals by the total number of persons. So we are going to take the average of how many people we have covered, we have examined by the number of people examined. Interpretation. The minimum number of points for all the segments in either the debris or calculus score is 0. That is, so we are given this criteria, if you remember, it is 0 to 3. The maximum points can be 36. And since the oral hygiene index is the sum of two indices, it ranges from 0 to 12. So, higher the score, poorer the hygiene of the person. Now, advantages of this oral hygiene index. First one is, it is sensitive enough to reflect the cleansing efficiency of the toothbrushing method that is followed by the person and the expected relationships between the oral cleanliness and the periodontal disease status of the person. Simple, useful method for assessing a group of individual oral hygiene status quantitatively. Third, useful tool in program evaluation in monitoring oral hygiene maintenance programs. Fourth, it can assess individual attitude and effectiveness of toothbrushing in oral hygiene practices. Let us see the limitations. Limitations are examination of all the surfaces of the teeth present can become tiresome and may be time consuming. Second, since it is time consuming, its applicability in epidemiological surveys becomes difficult. Let us see the simplified oral hygiene index. So, since the limitations are there where it has got more time consuming and applicability of epidemiological surveys is become difficult, the same developers, the same John and Green and Vermeulen had developed simplified index in 1964. Now, this is also very similar to what we see in oral hygiene index, but here the number of tooth surfaces are 6 rather than 12. The method of selected surfaces to be scored and the scores which can be obtained are 6. The criteria used is similar as what we see in oral hygiene index. So, let us see. We call it as OHIS, that is oral hygiene index simplified. Like the OHI, it has two components, that is debris index and calculus index. Each of these indices in turn is based on the numerical determinations representing the amount of debris or calculus found on the pre-selected tooth surfaces. If you remember, in the oral hygiene index, we are not selecting any particular teeth or tooth because we are examining all the teeth present in that particular segment. Here, we are going to do it only on selected teeth. Now, the 6 surfaces examined for oral hygiene index simplified are selected from 4 posterior and 2 anterior teeth. Let us see how they are. In the posterior portion of the dentition, the first fully erupted tooth distal to the second bicuspid, that is 1-5, that is premolar, second premolar. Usually the first molar is selected. So we take 1-6. But sometimes if that 1-6 is missing, we can go to 1-7 also. Even if that is missing, we can go up to 1-8 also. So what you should remember here, in oral hygiene index simplified, third molars are also involved in case if the first and second molars are missing for any reasons. Okay, the buccal surfaces of the selected upper molars are are measured, and the lingual surfaces of the lower molars are inspected. There we are examining both buccal and lingual surfaces, but in simplified index we are selecting the buccal surfaces of the upper molars and lingual surfaces of the lower molars. Now let us see the anterior teeth. In the anterior portion we are checking the labial surface of the upper right incisor and lower left central incisor, that is 1-1 and 3-1. In case if this 1-1 and 3-1 are missing, then you can go across and go for 2-1 and 4-1 respectively on the opposite side of the midline if it is required to be substituted. The same criteria I have given pictures for your understanding. There is no change in any criteria of debris index or even calculus index. Similarly, what we measure in the oral hygiene index, the same measurements we will be doing and same criteria will be followed while you are inspecting the dentition. Now calculation here, after the scores of debris index and calculus are recorded, the index values are calculated. For each individual, as similar what we do in that also it is done here. At least 2 of the 6 possible surfaces must have been examined for an individual score to be calculated. Now the average individual or group score can be known as simplified debris index. Let us see here. I have given examples also. The same methods are used to obtain calculus scores or the simplified calculus index. The average individual or group debris and calculus scores are combined to get simplified oral hygiene index. That is, the calculus index simplified plus debris index simplified values may range from 0 to 3, and oral hygiene index simplified value ranges from 0 to 6. These values are just half the scores of OHI. Let us see in the example. If you see here, upper and lower I have given you, and segment right, anterior and left. If you see, what we have measured is buccal of the right upper. So we are going to take only the buccal surfaces of the upper molars and lingual surfaces of the lower molars. So upper we have taken buccal right 3, and anterior we are taking 1 labial surface, that is 2 score here, and here if you see here. Similarly, if you see the lower, you have seen the lingual surface here and lingual surface here and here. If you see, totally the debris index is equal to buccal scores plus the lingual scores by the total number of examined buccal and lingual surfaces, that is 9 plus 4 by 6, that makes it 2.2. So debris index simplified here is 2.2. Let us see the calculus index here. It is 4 plus 3 by 6, that makes it 1.2. So the average individual or group debris and calculus scores are combined to obtain simplified oral hygiene index as follows. That is, oral hygiene index is equal to debris index plus calculus index is equal to 2.2 plus 1 point, that makes 3.4. This is the calculation of the index what we have done previously. Now interpretation of this index. So for the DAS and CAS, that is debris index simplified and calculus index simplified, if you see, good is equal to, if the score ranges between 0.0 to 0.6, we call it as good. That is, oral hygiene is good in that particular person. And if it is 0.7 to 1.8, it is fair. And if it is 1.9 to 3, it is poor. So higher the score, poorer the oral hygiene. Now similarly, if you see oral hygiene index simplified, see, this is the score for both debris and calculus index. And when it becomes oral hygiene, it becomes debris plus calculus. That makes it, if it is 0.0 to 1.2, that becomes good. And if it is 1.3 to 3, it becomes fair. And if it is 3.1 to 6, it becomes poor. So this is the interpretation. Tomorrow when you examine the patient in your examination, you will have to write these scores. So based upon these scores, you will tell whether the oral hygiene status of that particular person is good, fair or poor. Now advantages. Now oral hygiene index simplified is easy to use and definitely requires less time. Hence it can be used in the field studies also. It may be used as an adjunct to epidemiological studies of periodontal diseases. Now it determines the status of oral hygiene cleanliness in groups and useful in evaluation of dental health education procedures. Now inter and intra-examiner errors are also less comparatively. Now limitations. It lacks the degree of sensitivity as much as original version, because there we are going to check all the teeth, and it can definitely lead to an underestimation or an overestimation of the debris and calculus. It is not appropriate for individual oral hygiene status evaluation. It is mainly developed for the epidemiological surveys and field studies. And it is not appropriate for certain type of clinical studies also, including detailed investigation of plaque calculus formation. With that, we close this chapter, oral hygiene index. In this, we have learned both oral hygiene index and oral hygiene simplified. Please study. You can refer Subham Peter textbook also. It is given very well, and you will learn it more detail and more better way when you are doing on the patient also. So with the theory background is required for your understanding in the clinical examinations. So please go through it, study well, and if you have any doubts, please get back to me in the department. Thank you.